Very briefly, Miss LaTocha Scott, who's located on the end here, because they've been all over YouTube. They were she was on the Ricky Smiley show trying to guess save face. And I wrote down a bunch of stuff I was gonna say about this lady, but I will say that I have sent my prayers out for her because she really needs help. Her attitude needs to change, first of all. And when you come out here saying, "Oh, I want to sing gospel," and you think you just because you just been an escape all these years, you have a following, you think people just gonna jump on board just because it's you? No, ma'am. And so she's found that out. Her record company knows. And, she's probably got to figure out a way how to pay that record company that money back. Because right now, her project is considered a flop because people don't want to support her. Okay. But you combat it with your family, you combat it with your fans, you're going through it with your husband, and then you come out talking about you in an open marriage. What? All right. So, did I say Tamika or LaTocha? It's LaTocha Scott. LaTocha Scott on the end in a green dress. She's no longer part of the escape group. Um, it's alleged that it's alleged that her and her husband forged some checks totaling over $30,000 that were made out to her sister Tamika Scott, which is the young lady who's second from the left. So Miss Latasha says, "Hey, I didn't take no money." Well, you didn't, but your husband did. And her sister, Tamika Scott, put up the receipt. She put up copies of the forged checks that were deposited into Latasha Scott's husband's bank account. So he went on an interview with Unwind with Tasha K, telling all kind of lies, talking fast, stuttering, and this federal, and this bigger than that. And I don't know these women. Because it's alleged that he was in several different relationships with several different women. And so over the past week, Latasha went on the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. Um, Again, in my opinion, not being truthful, blaming her fans for her problems. She also put out an apology video to Candy Burris, Tamika, and Tiny. If I did so and so, if I made you feel this way, but I'm sorry. Well, when you start an apology with if, it's not an apology. When you start an apology with if, it's not a true apology. And during her apology video, she was angry and crying and blaming the fans for attacking her and saying it's our fault. And I'm like, hey, lady, this is your life. You put this out here. You did this. And then you want to blame me, the consumer who was prepared to purchase your album. And the single that she put out, Stay With Me, is actually pretty good. However, you can tell when secular artists try to go into gospel music, and she's like, I just wanted to sing to the Lord. Lady, it was nothing spiritual about what, even that song says she was basically telling God to stay with her. Well, the Lord says he never leave or forsake you. And it's not him leaving us, it's us leaving him. He's always there. So I think that if she would have had the right kind of people on her team, someone who's spiritually grounded and say, hey, the song sounds good, but let's look at these lyrics a little bit closer. And, with the artists that I manage, there are some that I stopped working with. And it's just for me personally, lifestyle matters. Lifestyle matters when you out here doing hurtful things to people. I'm not gonna work. No, I can't. If you were doing things and you got a wife or a husband, no, you can't be around me doing that kind of stuff. We're not gonna work together. And those were my rules when I managed artists. When I managed Arnett, I would say something to them. Hey, that's not cool. Hey, when you come with me, don't do that. Don't do it. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to see it. Just don't do it because you out here singing the gospel. You're supposed to be living right. But on the other hand, you're doing all this other stuff that I don't agree with. And it kept me in trouble. And I felt like with a whole lot of people, I mean, all the way down to the ground fought out. Some of them still don't speak to me today, but it's all good in the neighborhood. But it's just certain things I was not going for, which I could, you know what? If I write another book, maybe when I turn 65 in another 30 years or so, maybe I'll do that. Do a tell all book. That'll probably be my best bestseller. That'll be my best bestseller. But again, Miss Latasha, if I were you, I would first of all, you need a good PR team. Your public relations team needs to be on point because all of this could have been avoided because you knew the show was coming out. You knew the allegations that were coming out. You could have fixed this before the show even aired. You could have got with your sister, pay the lady her money back. Pay it back. Oh, I didn't know. What $30,000? Show me the proof. So the lady put up the proof. And then you still on here. I don't owe nobody no $30,000. And then your husband and the mistresses have started coming out saying that they were in multi-year relationships with your husband. Then all of a sudden we're in an open marriage. You're on a reality TV show and telling the public it's none of our business. Well, just really not. But lady, make up your mind. And she is just all over the place. She says she's not at peace. She's not happy. Well, you brought that on yourself. You brought that on yourself. The relationship with your sister never be the same. But the trust there has been broken. And I hope y'all can fix it, but I doubt it. I mean, y'all might speak it when you see each other in person, maybe. And then you're still blaming her for your problems. Blaming her, blaming the public. The record company is already sick of you. And I don't know how y'all gonna fix that, but you got to pay them people their money back that they have invested in you and put a radio tour together. I put a radio tour together before. I put a radio tour together for a person that most radio stations hated the person. They hated that person. But I was able to successfully put together the radio tour, find out what kind of questions they're going to ask, so that the entertainer would be prepared with the appropriate answer. There was no surprises. It was not him going back and forth with the radio host like she did with the brat. But their public relations team has failed you. But public relations, they're only going to do what you allow them to do. And then also, if you are nasty to them, that's probably why you're in the situation that you're in right now. Public relations and marketing matters. To my gospel artists out there, I had one artist, everywhere he went, it was a problem. Everywhere he went. And I'm not going to call his name, and it's not who you think it is. But one time I got a phone call, and it wasn't it was the promoter or pastor. I can't forget who it was, but they called me and they said, I didn't know you were sending Whitney Houston down here. And I was like, well, what do you mean? Said the attitude was so bad and so grand, and they were so demanding and so rude to the church staff that was working there. And they told me, don't you ever send this person back down here again. Because initially when they called me, they say, hey, I want you to send one of your best artists. This is the type of crowd we're gonna have. This is the group we're gonna have. I don't want no rappers. This is the type of person that I need. I say, hey, I got you. So I booked my artist, and boy, look at here. I was so embarrassed. I said, never again. So you're probably dealing with that type of attitude with LaTocha Scott, but she just really needs to take a good long look at herself and work on herself. And she thought it was just gonna be a breeze, like the people in the gospel industry are just so easy to get over. No, ma'am. Mm-mm. And like I told y'all in my other interview, even though it's gospel music, it's still the music industry. The rules are the same. So your reputation precedes you. Okay. So I hope she just takes a sabbatical and gets herself together and maybe align herself with a pastor and really take a spiritual retreat. And think about it. I bet her album is really good. Like I said, that one song that she released called Stay With Me sounds good. And then, Another thing that I don't really like are these some of these songs that um kind of crossover, kind of like, you don't know if they talking about God or a man. They talking about God or if they're in a relationship with somebody. And when I saw "Stay with Me," I was like, "Stay with me? What is this?" And then when I listened to her, she was begging God to stay with her. Stay with me. I was like, "Oh Lord, she ain't read her Bible. She ain't had nobody who was spiritually grounded." I would have said, "Hey, LaTocha, the Lord will never leave you nor forsake you. So let's rearrange these lyrics to make it make sense. 'Cause God's always with us. It's us who's always leaving." Anyway, lady, stop lying. The sister probably don't even want the money. She said it was something from 10 years ago, and then all this time you've been lying and having an attitude, and it's just always been a problem. You probably always been like that all your life, and now it's hurting you publicly. Just knock it off. Change your attitude. There's a whole lot of people need to change their attitude. Do better, live right. Live right, do the right thing. Stop being nasty to people. And then your life hopefully should get better. And be genuine about it. Stop being out here trying to scam people and fake people out like Miss LaTocha Scott tried to do with this gospel album. No, ma'am, it ain't gonna work. So I don't know which stations might be playing her music. Probably none. I don't know. But she got to clean up her act, clean up your image. And she said we were all judging her. Oh, you guys are judging me. You don't know me. We don't. We only know what you're putting out. We only know what you put out, the circumstances you put out. Your lying husband, what a big liar. I don't know him personally. But what I do know is he was on Unwind with Tasha K telling a bunch of lies. It's federal. I can't talk about it. It's federal. When is having an affair a federal case? Man, get out of here. Anyway, God bless you, Miss LaTocha Scott. Don't do no more press. Don't put out any more YouTube or Instagram videos saying a word. You need to be quiet. You need to get with your legal team. You need to get with a good public relations team. I know some people. I know some people. You need some people who are going to be honest with you. You need some people who are spiritually grounded, not religious. You need some people who are spiritually grounded around you. And this open marriage thing and talking about singing gospel music, child, they are getting ready to crucify you. And it's not even Easter yet. So I would say just hold on, pump your brakes, be quiet. Don't do no more press, no more radio interviews because your lifestyle has taken over the music. Did they even ask you about your new single? I think they did last. That was last. And then they just threw that in there for good measure because they were shredding you on the Rick and Smiley morning show. And they also shredding you in the comments with your Instagram video. So I would say leave it alone, leave it alone, leave it alone. Pump your brakes, take a retreat. Better figure out how to pay that record company their money. You need to probably align yourself with some conferences or something, but whatever tour you had, girl, I want to think about that and put that on hold for a minute. So that's my advice to you, ma'am. All right, so that's all I got for this week. We'll be back next week. We're gonna probably bring a special guest on. I'm not sure. So enjoy your week, and I'll talk with y'all later. Okay, bye.